There was a version of me that thought I was shy. And what people would say, they'll say, oh, that's just her, Nene. Nene, she's just shy. And I adopted it. I wore it as a personality badge. Like, yeah, this is me. But what I didn't realize was that I was just identifying with a temporal emotional state. And the moment I realized that, that's what shifted everything for me. That's when that kind of like, oh, okay, this is all been rolling with. So here's my question to you. What is, what if that thing you think you are is just something that you're just feeling? So stay with me because, you know, with the end of this video, I'm hoping that it would challenge the way you are, how you see yourself, with this emotional state thing. Because this is the deal. Growing up with, being the shy one, there was so many things that kind of like played against me. Like I when it was said, and the thing is like it wasn't necessarily about the term shyness, whatever, or like I didn't even know per se what that word truly meant when I was small, young, whatever. And when it was thrown around, it was just like, oh, okay. I'm just it was it wasn't like how would I put it? There was just so many things that happened. I've got this bed mark, right? On the whole of my left arms, like all there. It looks like a I've gotten so many things. I've got advice on how to get it, how to treat it, how to how like what the people think it's like a hot water poured on me. I've had is it vitiligo? Or is it this, that? But when you are introverted in that way and you don't like the attention or and all those things, you tend to I mean I did like just want to kind of like shy away. And then you add another layer of not knowing at the time that I had a condition like being dyslexic and not understanding how I get it logically. I understand what you're saying. I can tell you back facts and spit it out and all those things. But when it comes to like expressing it in writing and like writing this thing down, it's even me reading it back is like, how, what are you saying? And then when I would get my schoolwork in, it's like circle, 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 like the red pen. Remember when the teacher was like full of red circles or things or marker, like, what's this? So that as well was kind of like another knock-on effect on me, on how I was then solidifying this thing, avoiding crowds, avoiding room, avoiding being called upon when the question is floating in class. Like I would know it. But if it's a question that requires you to go out there and write or get up and read, I'm like, where do I hide? What's the thing? And because of that, things that I know I could, I was playing small. And with that, um, how I was now, with all that, now comes the story. Now comes oh, how do I protect me? How do I keep me safe? What do I do to make sure that nothing happens? Nobody says anything. And then it'll be like, oh, the embarrassment, or this, or that. Like, oh, like trying to find things that would have that protection on me. And this is where now this emotional state comes in. So it's like I took this badge of honor of this, even the physical state. and the emotional impact of this, of thinking that, yes, this is me and this is how I roll. Oh, this, like, and you can just tell because I didn't want to have the eye contact. How was I was like slouching. I was like not looking away or or looking through. If I was made to look, I would not like look you in the eye. I would like, I'm looking past you. Like right now, check this out. I am looking at this red, no, mine is blue right now, light through the lens, but I'm actually looking past it. I am not looking. So imagine the lens is my eyes. I'm not looking at you. I'm looking past you. But you think I am looking at you, but I am not. I am looking. That's how I rolled. I mastered the act of I am looking at you, but I'm not looking at you. I can see you, but I'm not seeing you. You're there, but I'm looking there. But it looks like I'm looking at you. Hopefully that makes sense. I thought that rhymed in a way, but yeah. So yeah, so all that fear of exposure, if someone finds out, if someone says, like, what can you do? Or something like, oh, like what's your address? Or spell out this or this or that. And they'd be like, oh, they'd be like, oh no, that's like a phrase, like dummy, like what? You don't know that? And I did not want that. I did not want the fear of judgment of like, oh God. So with that, wanting to be invincible, wanting to do all those things, my nervous system was on constant guard. Like, what do we need to protect here? Who's gonna be like shining the light? Who like, and because of that, I was in this tense state of, okay, let's pretend now. As long as we don't see, nothing happens, no one's gonna call us. And then it's like feeling, so I was now embodying what that gets to look like. I just don't want the attention, so I'm not gonna say anything. I'll speak very slow, softly. You crack a joke in my head, I am laughing out loud, loud, like rolling laugh, but my expression, my face is like, what? I didn't get it. I didn't get that joke. I don't know what you're saying. Excuse me? Did someone say something? Oh, she didn't get it. She doesn't get the joke. Because I just did not want the attention. Because I wanted to be safe. I wanted to be like, so I had all these operational things that I was doing in terms of not wanting the exposure, in the fear of the judgment, the fear of getting things wrong was so heavy. And all those tense being caused me to go into more a like concealed life where you wouldn't even know I was in spaces. I was just crouching in the corner. I would speak very softly. I would act as if I don't know. That was it. It was just a protection. It was just me doing those things to make that happen. I've shared here before where one of the things that I had the opportunity to, like when I moved into another school, again, my parents didn't know that, that I had this issue. They're thinking, oh, this school, we heard that this school is very good. They scored high, whatever. It's one of the best in the right now. Da, da, da. Go there. Oh, actually, it's in they speak a different language. And I mean, in classrooms, we speak English, but other than that, in every day in the boardings, they speak Yoruba, which is a language in Nigeria. And in order, being going into a new environment, not speaking the language, my parents wanted to like make sure I'm fine and everything, and put me in a space where I could be with the senior, what do they call them here? Like, mm, I'm trying to think American style, but over here it's like what do you even call them over here? Like the final year, like just before you go into college, that kind of like setting. So I was like boarding with them, and one of the criteria is as long as I don't understand what they're saying, I can stay. So now I'm now kind of like, oh, she doesn't know, she's shy, she's this. So now I am embodying this state. I am embodying this feeling. I am saying things to myself. I am like the way I'm like, mm, like breathing. Oh, oh, poor Nene. Oh, she doesn't know what we're saying. She doesn't know the language. She's yeah, let her be. I was taking the state. I was like slouching. I was like this. I'm like, oh, well, I'm not good. Ugh. All that to just regulate my nervous system to be fine, but in not realizing I was actually tensing up my nerves, my because it was such in like like flashlight. Like, what's the issue? Okay, make sure you don't laugh. Or make sure you're like doing your thing so that nobody alarms, nothing goes, everybody's cool. All that is me thinking. I didn't even think because I didn't know that that was just me being in a state because of the meaning and the stories and the things that I was attaching to where I was or how I was doing things. So that's me how I'm there like I thought this is how it is that I am like that. Of course I like me my mean time like my own time space or like now depending on who I'm like I vibe. Like sometimes I remember where we used to live in our old place, like that you can come in into the property and you just go upstairs and nobody would know. And sometimes when I come back, I would just sneak upstairs, just chill, have a like I was gonna say distress, but just like relax, just chill for a while. And maybe like half an hour, whatever, of me time of just kind of like just sometimes just being still, just being silent, sometimes just like watching or reading or sleeping. And then you just see someone like coming, oh, I didn't know you're home. Yeah, I needed my me time. And now in our new place, it's like you come in, everybody knows you're in. So I think when next we move, we'll find a way to make sure we have that guy because that was good. But yeah, anyway, I was just like, why we said that, I'm sure it had a meaning to it, but describing how things are. Oh, oh yeah, I was trying to talk about how how I still have this introverted tendencies and like I still have that thing. I just needed time. At the same time, I'm like, I like me spaces. Like when I'm in, I'm so engaged and all that. But doing it and then realizing that, oh, actually, I am because of my thinking and because of my processing and because of how I am acting, I am creating this state I'm in. I mean, creating this, oh, sorry, like, oh, this is how like, oh, I'm not good, not capable. I guess this is how life is gonna be for me, whatever that looks like. And I'll just have this quiet, like staring. Oh, if I don't say anything, if I don't talk, people don't talk back. So then I'm saving my energy and I don't have to, I just do not want any, I don't know, exhaust any energy in conversation. So I just agree with what you have to say, even if it was just like, yeah, thing. But the moment I realize that this is just me choosing unintentionally this as my identity, that this is how I roll. And then I started doing the work. I started doing the deep identity work, the reprogramming, the rebooting of my brain, like jigging it up. Like we do not roll like this. It took time because this has like I've had this feeling, had this thought for a long time. And then to then think, oh, now that I have this realization, it's gonna be like go done. Mm-mm. It doesn't always work that way. But it's having an understanding because of that, our brain wanting that safety. there's gonna be this kind of like, oh no, no, oh, we don't do that. Oh, we don't think we're that good. Oh, like what? Like this is a unique or this like you're no. And like a rubber band, like when you like pull it and let go, it will go back to its form. But when you keep pulling and pulling and pulling or using that rubber band, like wrapping of, and then when you let go, it turns into a whole new form. It turns into a whole new shape that like it's not how it is. The same is true for us. When we start working on ourselves, when I started doing the work, doing taking those deep breaths in, really like holding space, walking in with like how I want to roll. Like this is how it is. Started regulating my nervous system, doing the things that I get to like what that is. Did that change? Start showing up before I felt ready. Started doing things that, oh, oh wow, I did that. Even though I was shaky. Going for it. Putting hands up now, doing all these things. That's where, with that shift, I became someone new. I became and I stopped reinforcing that old belief. Because what would happen is you'd be like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we don't because we don't have we can't hold conversations. Oh, because we're very awkward. We don't know what to say and things like that. So this is how we are. Mm, having that physical state, having that emotional state because of what the thinking. Because as we think, so we feel. And as I'm feeling, I'm getting this state of like, oh yeah, no. But now it's like, okay, I'm going to go into this room. I don't know who's there, what's going to be said. I'm just going to go in. I'm just going to hold myself, even though I have no idea. I'm still shaky, but I'm going to walk up head high, go into the space, and then do the thing. Before I'll go into a job and I'll be like, I'm your interpreter. Yeah, I'm the interpreter yeah, the clients. That was like, oh yeah, oh she doesn't. Now it's like it's not even about being loud or being whatever. With a smile. Yeah, I'm the interpreter. Because when you come in, especially if it's like, because I do a lot of like community and what's the word? Interpreting style, right? It's a case of like you go into like a reception, you go into like a GP surgery, or you go into like certain things. My throat is dry. I need me some water, but I don't know. You go do those things, and they just assume you're a patient, or they assume you're a client, or assume whatever, and it's like, hi, I'm Nene, I'm your interpreter for today. And sometimes they hear you, sometimes they're like, oh yeah, so what's the number, like, and then I smile, I'm your interpreter for today. And then we take it from there. So this is the key thing. It's like I didn't suddenly wake up and I was then this confident. I was then able to then say, yeah, I'm in for today. Like, yay, let's go. What do you want me? How do we roll? No, I still had that fear in me of showing up. But I just knew that I had this door frame moment thing I created for myself. That every time I go through a door, I embody that interpreter who knows her SHIT. I would like walk in there and be it. And sometimes I'll go in and I'll sit down like, well, let I check you out. And all it was just that shift, was that like letting go. That now, when I tell people that I used to be shy, they'd be like, really? You how? Because I did the work. I put in, that, again, not sudden, but something changed. And that change was that what's the word? Twist for me. Was that thing that kind of like, whoa, woke me up, realizing that I was in, whenever I thought, imagine this way, whenever you're kind of like, if someone says, oh, think of it like a sad moment or whatever. What would one tend to do? Oh, 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 ugh. Whatever, shy, like, oh, like not looking, start embodying. But when you start having that trust in self, start having that self-worth or belief or whatever it is, you start breaking up. Even though you're shy, even though I mean you don't feel up to the thing, you still show up. You still do the thing. You get the point across. So it's not always like, oh, um, this, and then we're like, whatever that is, or I'm not capable, so I can't. And then when you're not, you're like having that, but we're like, no, we're capable. I've got this. I know my stuff. Like I whatever that is, decide. Like this is what I who I want to be. This is how I am choosing that thing, that person, that whatever it is. Start acting as it now, and instead of going in that way, instead of acting in, and because of that, the clarity will start coming in. Of course, there's the work and the inner chatter and all those things. The work is done. But that emotional state of now letting go and now me thinking, oh, yeah, I'm shy. No, I wasn't. It's just how I was making myself be to align to that person who is shy because of the stories I told myself, because of how I was like acting and being and all those things. That's why that was there. That's it. Because I didn't become confident because I fixed my fear or now like I am fearless. No. When the fear comes, every time I show up, I do the thing, the fear is becoming so much less. Does not mean like, oh my goodness, like crappy craps. It's still there, but it's how I deal with that crap, like how I show up with it. That's the key thing. So I became confident because I stopped identifying with it. That word, shyness. Like, no, I'm not. I changed how I saw things, how I saw my hand, how I saw my condition, how I saw my state, my person. I changed that. And then I embodied a whole new identity, which then empowered me. And I dropped off that one because it didn't serve me anymore. It wasn't a thing. I stopped. But the fear will still show up. The fear still shows up. The fear is still there. What just happens now is a whole different version of me is is coming up. So yeah, when I it just doesn't get to introduce itself anymore. The word shy. It's not a thing for me anymore. Like, oh yeah, my personality is a shy one. No, because of the shift that's happened and the work that went alongside dropping that and how I started embodying my physical and emotional state to then realize that it is a meaning that I'm giving this thing. And because of the meaning I'm giving this, it's not affecting how I show up. It's not affecting me in my state, physically, emotionally, linked up to that. And that's the shift. And that's what changes everything. Right? Because this is what I want to kind of like leave you with for us to kind of like understand. Because when you have turned your identity and it links it up, you might just think, oh yeah, it's just emotions or it's just whatever. But once you now have that in and then rehearse it, like putting that emotion to it, putting that empowered, than just going, okay, oh yeah, I've got this. Oh, aha, this is like my realization. And then you're trying to, and without no, and like, when you're practicing something, you're just practicing and practicing. So, say for instance, like, when somebody's like, you're practicing the notes, like a piano thing. Look, I'm gonna mess this up, but I'm just gonna go with the flow. Da 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 da, right? And you're going da 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 da. Because I remember when my kids were learning how to play. It was like it was constant dun 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 dun. It was going on and on. And that's what they told them to do for like a week long or whatever. And it just kept going on. And then one time, all of a sudden, one of my kids, he just went da 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 da. And you could oh, that moment locked in. See that rehearsal with that like emotion linked with that? That is gold. When we can get that embodiment of like the rehearsal. And that's why every time something locks in, celebrate, get that emotional state in there. It's like, now it's locked in. Oh, I get to do this. Right? So yeah, it's it's the gold in this. It's having that rehearsal part of things, not just practicing like dun 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 dun, dun, but like really get into it and shift the shift. Like, come on now, the emotion, the physical side of things. Like, get that locked in because that's how we embody this identity. And if this resonates, stay close because we get to do this all the time. Because I've unpacked identity stuff like emotional, system thing, like how we build the confidence. And yeah, we're doing this all year, every single day. We're going deeper into all these certain areas of the becoming, of getting to that next level, like all those things. And yeah, how what's showing up for me and how we get to do this, right? So if anything's landed, if you've ever like self-identify with anything, let's have that conversation down in the comment section. And remember, your voice matters and it's your time to use it. Then I hear. Bye for now.